Hey everybody, happy Wednesday, put my glasses on. What day is it? May 19th. Ooh, my glasses are dirty. Hope you're all doing well, having a good morning. It's an afternoon where we're at, but maybe it's a morning where you're at. I was thinking of coffee. Welcome to Coffee in a Card, and I was thinking of coffee. It must be in the morning, but it's not. I could use an iced coffee right about now. How about y'all? If you're here, be sure and say hello. I love to chat with you. I have a fun little card to share today. There's nothing. It has a lot of layers, a lot of elements, but there's nothing fancy about it. We're not doing a fancy fold or a technique or anything. We're just going to do some embossing. I guess we're going to be doing some dry embossing and some heat embossing. So we're going to be doing a couple of little techniques. Let me turn my camera around. Hi, Carol. Hi, Mom. Let's get my camera over here. Hope you ladies are having a good day, a good Wednesday. Hi, Stace. There we go. There we go. One of these days I'll figure out how it works. Am I even there? I apologize for my camera stand. There's just no way to get it out of the way. But that's what this is. It's just my little camera stand. So my phone, you can see it here, is positioned correctly. Hi, Kat. Oh my gosh, Carol, I'm so sorry. Carol's brother had a heart attack today, but had stent, and so far he's okay. Oh my gosh. I'll be praying for your brother, Carol. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not a good way to start the day at all. Goodness. The bundle I'm using, actually it's not a bundle, it's just a stamp set. It's the Measure of Love stamp set. I am also using one element from the Welcoming Window dies. I'm using the shelf dies. You'll see, here is my card. In this card, so I used the little shelf dies from the Welcoming Window. So I did use that bundle, just that element to make our card. Here's a card that I made with that bundle for Mother's Day. And I'm using the little embossed wooden shelf like element. But we're using the Measure of Love stamp set, and it is on page 32 of the annual catalog. It's down here. It's a very nice price point. It's a fun little stamp set. I think it would go really well with the What's Cookin' bundle over here on page 34. So I'm thinking about that stamp set, but I just thought this was really adorable. It reminds me of Mary Englebright, if you're familiar with her, or just back in the day of Pyrex and all those things. So here's a card we made. Did we make this Monday? I don't even remember what we did Monday. We did the little crisscross ribbon technique. I think we did this last week. Anyway, so this is a card we made using this set. It's really fun. Also, about this card, I should explain that I completely cased the sample in the catalog. So when you're looking at your catalogs, they're not just catalogs full of products, but they're catalogs full of inspiration and ideas. And so I completely copied that card. My mojo wasn't with me today. So I completely copied that card. I did not have that designer series paper. but I used the, over here, hold my paper, the Pansy Petals, which I really have been enjoying. And I used this print here for our card. I thought it looked kind of kitcheny. It'd be a fun wallpaper on a country kitchen. I almost used the gingham print. I felt like I liked this paper, but I felt like it was a little too busy and a little too dark, and I didn't want it to detract from my stamped images. Here's a fun gingham too. I like this print, which is what we used for our little ribbon technique, quilting technique. The back sides are real generic. There's the Fresh Freesia gingham, the new in color. So a lot of ginghams on this and a lot of pansies, of course. And there's even a stripe. That would make a good masculine card or a Christmas card. Uses those greens. So that's the paper I used. I used for my card base the, oh my gosh, you guys, my brain is just not functioning. You case all the time, Carol? I do too. When I just can't think of anything, I just have to get ideas from other people, and that's totally okay. I just haven't been feeling really well this week. I don't know if it's the weather or what. But anyways, this is soft seafoam. So it is 8.5 by 5.5. I scored it at 4 1/4, and that's our card base. Then I took a piece of that Designer Series paper and adhered it to the card base. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Yes, Carol, allergies are bad, and I do have some essential oils going that are supposedly to help me with my allergies and my sinus and all that. So that could be a big part of it. It's real wet here too. This week has just been damp and rainy, and maybe it's moldy. I don't know. So that could very well be my problem. I love this little print. It has these tiny little bees on it. Okay, the next thing I did is I took a piece of basic white cardstock. This measures 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I always put my measurements over up on my blog after I go live. So if you would like to recreate a similar card, you can go over there to see the measurements. I use the checks and dots embossing folder. I use the checks, of course, on this piece of basic white. I just really like that. I haven't used the dots yet. I need to use the dots. Kat says her eyes are really itching this week. Yeah, mine were this weekend. I had to crack down and take a Zyrtec. I kind of like to do them sparingly, but everything was just going haywire. So that could be why I don't feel very well this week. I don't know. Okay, now we're going to do a lot of stamping. We're using a lot of different colors on this card. So I've just got a little strip of basic white cardstock. And I'm going to get some stuff out of my way here. And we're going to stamp 2 bowl images, and I'm using Bumblebee ink. I pulled all of these colors out of the paper. that I'm using. That is one of the main reasons I also need a memento for our scale. And some real red for our cherries. And some evening evergreen for our cherry stems. I wanted to kind of pull in one of those, our new colors. This is a real dark green, and I thought it looked good on those cherry stems. And then I have a little pool party. I don't know if you can see, but there's this tiny little image that I stamped right on the scale. So I'm going to use some pool party ink for that. And then a little bit later, we'll use some Versamark for our sentiment. We'll do some heat embossing. So I'm just going to stamp my images. I need a scale. And for the scale, I'm using Memento because I'm going to color this in with some Stampin' Blends. And I have a foam pad under here, which really helps to get a crisp image when you're using the photopolymer stamps. I think I mentioned that Monday. It just really gives you a good surface. I don't know what it is, but it helps. Okay, now for our little bowls. Where is my bowl? I thought the bowl was really cute. It's got the little hearts. I need one bumblebee bowl. And then I'm going to wipe that off. And I'm going to do a Calypso Coral. Like I said earlier, I pulled all these colors from this designer series paper. And I began to say I started with Stampin' Up! And I buy almost exclusively from them because of the color coordination. It's just so helpful not to have to worry about what matches what. I'm not very good at it. Carol says I'm the only demo I've seen using these stamps. Oh, good. I mean, not good, but I love these stamps. This is a set that I indulged myself with, and I don't know why I stamped that twice. And I did stamp it on the edge because when I fussy cut that out, I'll have a straight edge at the bottom. Carol says that's why 19 years ago she started buying Stampin' Up! Me too. I have all the color families, and when I purchased my, sorry for my head if I get that in there. When I purchased my papers and things and my inks, I know everything's going to match with everything. I didn't do very good on that, but that's okay because I went ahead and cut this out all ahead of time. So you wouldn't have to watch me fussy cut everything out. We need our little dial or whatever. Stacy, you got it on the head the last time I used this set on what this is called. I'm just using real red for that one. And I think that's it. 2 bowls, the cherries, and the scale. And then I colored the scale in with light Pool Party. So we'll do that real quick. Since it's kind of considered like enamel, you know, you don't have to really color it in, I didn't think, too, you know, heavy or dark because it's kind of an enamel. I'm considering this to be an enamel scale in my make-believe world. I did see a needle. I did see another, my sister says this is the needle on the scale, so that's probably right. I did see another demonstrator use some fine tip glue. Our fine tip glue is kind of like Crystal Effects in that you can coat your whole surface with that and it makes it shiny, like that would be a shiny piece of enamel. So I didn't want to try that today because it takes so long to dry. So I'm just taking a little bit of the Pool Party ink in that tiny little flower image that I showed you earlier and putting it on a scale. Isn't that cute? So that's the images we need, and then we're going to cut them all out, which I've already done, so you wouldn't have to watch me. That would be so boring. And we're going to put our card together. I have cut 2 of the shelves from Crumb Cake cardstock. And I mentioned earlier I got that die from the Welcoming Window dies right here. So that is what I used for the shelves. You could probably just cut a rectangular piece of cardstock and emboss it with an embossing folder that you might have to give it a little texture. If you don't, have that set, or if you want to try and get the same look but don't want to invest in, a whole set for one die, I would understand that. Okay, so I'm going to glue these little shelves on with the multi-purpose liquid glue. And I kind of just propped this one up about an inch from the bottom over on the right hand side. And then I'm going to hold off on this one until I get my other things arranged. I'm going to put my scale here. So I kind of want this shelf to be probably right about there. It's going to overlap a little bit, so I think that'll work. There's really no right or wrong when you're doing this, right? I always think these sets with the small images, all the little images it just kind of tells a story, right? This is like a farmhouse kitchen and it's cherry picking season and what do you think she's doing? Is she making cherry jam? Who knows? These little bowls remind me of the old Pyrex bowls. My mom had kind of pinkish ones, salmony colored ones. Okay, my scale, I'm going to put it on with some dimensionals. Pop it up a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to put my cherries kind of right behind on this other bowl. This bumblebee color on this bowl reminds me, it makes me think of an earthenware bowl. So we've got our bowl full of cherries. And we're going to prop that up with some dimensionals. Here we go. Now for the sentiment, I have a little strip of, this is the new color. What? It's my new favorite color. My new favorite green. This is my brain this week. It's just not working. Hi, Susan. How are you? This is the soft succulent. Goodness, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to do a little heat embossing on that with white embossing powder. I'm going to grab a little scrap sheet. Susan, this is a cute card. I cased it directly from the catalog. I love this set, and I was telling the girls I just have not been feeling good this week, and I've lost my mojo. So whenever that happens, I just start casing things, and it'll come back. Hi, Loopy. Susan says all the in colors are my faves, but I love soft succulent. They are. I love all the new in colors this year. Sometimes, you have your favorites. But I think they're all gorgeous. I haven't used the dark color, except for today on our cherry stems, the evening evergreen, but I'm sure at Christmas time or the fall, when we start using deeper colors, I will begin to use that one quite a bit. But all the other ones I have been using. I just love them. I'm going to grab a little paintbrush here because I got a little, there we go. And my tweezers. Oh. My shelf turned on my heat tool. And I twisted it around. I gotta get the inks out of the way. Apologize for the noise. There we go. That magic. I love embossing, heat embossing. And then I took this returning favorite. I love the gingham. I call it gingham. It's bumblebee. Is it called gingham? Gingham ribbon. And I'm going to put a little adhesive on my tag here to adhere that ribbon to. And I just want it kind of peeking out from the bottom. That's what the artist did on the catalog sample. There we go. My ribbon scissors out here. It just adds a little texture, right? A little texture to the card and a little peak of color. Then I took my linen, my linen thread came all, this is what my brain is like this week, y'all. That's why I can't remember the color names. My linen thread just kind of came unspooled off the spool. I pulled it out of the drawer and there it was. I said, I know how you feel. Okay, so I'm going to put this, decide where I want to put my little sentiment, and I'm going to hide my ribbon. So that looks about right. I'm going to take a mini glue dot, stick it right there. Is that where I wanted it? I think I'm going to move it over a little bit. There we go. I know what's going on. I should trim my sentiment tag down a little bit. It's a little too long. That's why it's looking funky. Oops. There we go. Sorry guys, I don't think it should be this hard. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put some dimensionals on there. Get all my junk out of the way here. Alrighty, I still think I want to trim that ribbon just a little bit. Maybe just kind of give it a little, there we go. And there's our tag, and we can trim up a little of this ribbon or twine. There we go. I made this bow a little bigger. Let's make it a little smaller. There we go. The little details, yeah. Especially when your hands are as big as mine, Carol. There we go. That is the card. I thought a good inside sentiment. I didn't put one on there. What did I do with the stamp set? But I thought a good inside sentiment for that one. You more than measure up. Our friendship tips the scale. That would be a nice sentiment to put on the inside of this card. I didn't cut a piece of cardstock. I usually like to put a piece of basic white on the inside if I'm using a colored cardstock for my card. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you for joining in. I hope you have a good Kat needs to add this to her wish list. Loopy says she loves that stamp set, especially the scale. Made a flaky one out of Dollar Tree items. Oh, I bet it's gorgeous. Susan likes the soft succulent ribbon. I don't know if I have that. I'll have to look in my stash. I forget what I have. I try and keep things organized, but I don't know if I have that one. No, I do not. I do not. I know what you're talking about, Susan. I do not have that one. I want to get all of them. They're all beautiful. Okay, you guys have a great day. The sun is coming out, so maybe it will be a nice afternoon here in Kansas City. I am going to clean up my craft room because it is a mess. and we have a grandson's ball game this evening, so that's on our schedule. I will be back Monday for. I'm always thinking in my head, am I going to be back Monday? I really need a calendar. I keep my calendar on my phone, and my phone is my camera right now, so I don't know what's on my schedule for Monday. But I always will let you know if I won't be here. And thank you for the well wishes. I'm sure I'll feel fine. You all have a great day and a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.